Hello and welcome. I am Melissa and I'm from More for Crafts. Today I'm making a video using some products from Gina K Designs. It's a little fun fold card, very simple though. You open the top here, open the inside here, and you could, if you wanted, to put a little white rectangle on the inside there to write on your personal greeting. The reason I made this is because actually the sentiments in Just Because I Love You were so lovely. I wanted a way to feature a couple of them. So they say, I hope this happy note adds sunshine to your day and shows you that you're thought of in a very special way. Sent with this handmade card are special wishes just for you for a very happy birthday and joy the whole year through, which I just thought was lovely. I've used Master Layouts 8 to cut out the circles. I have used Master Layouts 12 to cut out the rectangles. As you can see, there are different sizes. So this one's the full size of Master Layouts 12, and then this one I've just cut it out and then slid it over slightly to make it a smaller rectangle. What's really good is it just locks into place because of the stitch. And there we go. So I will show you how to make that next. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our card blank. So this is a piece of black card that's 5.5 by 8.5 inches. I've popped it onto my scoreboard here and I'm going to score at 4 1/4. There we go. So that's basically just going to make an A2 card blank. There we go. That's our card blank. Then we're going to trim 1 inch off the edge just here. So this is my 4 1/4. This is my 3 1/4. It's going to pop 1 inch off there. Doesn't matter if it's not quite an inch. And that'll give us a little strip, and that's what's going to become the little fold at the front that we attach our circles to. So I'm going to pop that strip onto my scoreboard and just score at 2 1/2. There we go. So I've got one shorter side, one longer side, if you can see that there. And then I'm going to attach that to my card blank. So we've got the shorter side at the front. I'm going to pop some glue on the back of the shorter side of the 1 inch piece that we've got. I'm going to open up my card blank. I'm going to stick that just on the inside there. Personal preference, if you go for the middle, towards the top, towards the bottom, really doesn't matter. But you'll see that that will then just fold in just like that. And we have a really simple fun fold. So what we're going to do next is just prep the pieces that need to go on. So I've got 1, 2, 3 rectangular panels that need to go on, and then our circles. So let's move on to our rectangular panels. Okay, so we've got 3 pieces of white card, and I've cut those at roughly 6.5 by about 4 1/2. I'm going to stamp them by using my Misty. Now inside my Misty, I've got a Gina K Designs double background mat or stamp. It has a stamping image on one side, and then the other side is flat. So it's really good popping it in your Misty, and it holds your card in place while you're stamping. Or you can use it for actually stamping a pattern. So I'm going to pop it in that way up. And then I've got my sea glass ink, one of my favourites. I love all of the teals. So I'm just going to basically cover my stamp with that. Then I'm going to lay my card on top. Just being careful putting it down, that I'm not moving it around. And I'm just going to smooth my hand all over the card just to transfer the ink from the stamp to my cardstock. Giving it a minute just for that ink to soak in. Trying not to be impatient and just pulling it off straight away. I do need one panel that pretty much fits that whole piece of card. The other ones can be a little bit shorter, it won't hurt if we don't quite get the edges. And there we go. So I'm just going to repeat because I need 3 of those, as I said. So ink all over. Cardstock on. Smooth it down. That's number 2 and the last one. So same again, on and smooth. There we go, that's our 3 panels. So we're just going to clean the stamp using tidy towel. If you don't have a tidy towel, you can spray with water and wipe using a microfiber cloth. You just want something that's not going to leave any hairs on your stamp. Okay, so the next thing we're going to get ready is some of the components for the card. So I've already cut a circle out of black card, and this is the larger circle out of Master Layouts 8. I then have some white card ready for cutting the inner circle out of Master Layouts 8, so that's got that lovely stitch on. You can choose to stamp first, then die cut, or die cut and then stamp. I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to stamp the 2 sentiments and then die cut them so I can line my circle up. With my flower, I'm going to die cut the circle first so that I can see the flower inside the circle. It doesn't really matter which way around you do it. I'm just doing both so you can see both really. So back to the MISTI, and now my double background grip mat needs to come out and go the other way so that I've got the nice smooth surface on the top. I'm going to pop on 2 pieces of card. So these are the ones I'm going to stamp my sentiments on. So I'm taking the sentiments from the Just Because I Love You set, which is lovely flower, I think, and an enemy. And I'm going to pop those on there. Doesn't matter if they're straight because I can line my circle up. But there we go. And pick those up with the door. And then hopefully you can still see I'm in shot. I'll just ink those up and stamp them. Key thing with the sentiments really is do it 2 or 3 times rather than once and pressing really hard, because they're such a fine text. I don't want to squish the letters. I still want to make sure we can read it after we've stamped. There we go, they look good, I think. So again, we'll just clean those off. And pop those away. And then we'll get a circle cut out for stamping our flower. Okay, so for our flower on the front, I'm going to take a circle. Again, I've already cut it out using the Master Layouts 8 circle. And then I'm taking the flower from Spring Things, popping that down. Just looking to see that it looks like it's in the middle. As I say, it doesn't really matter which way round you do it. So this way I've shown you both. And we're just going to stamp that with some black ink. Obviously you could choose to do another colour, you could choose to emboss, whether it be clear on top of the black or whether it be a silver or a gold. Using some clear embossing ink, that would look pretty too. But I think the black just ties it all through. There we go, I might just give that one more in the middle. Perfect, then we'll clean that one off. We can pop that one away. And then we're going to move on to cutting out our coloured rectangles. Okay, so to cut these out, I'd actually originally just popped them onto my card, made a pencil mark where I wanted to cut, and cut them out with my trimmer. But I've realised that this rectangular die from Master Layouts 12 It's pretty much a perfect fit. It's got a lovely stitch edge on it, so I can use that instead. So I'm going to pop that to one side, cut this out from the middle of the panel there, just making sure really that it's pretty straight. And then when I do the other two panels, I'll be able to cut out a full sheet and then just slide the die over slightly. I'll show you that, so that you can get a rectangular piece using the same die. Okay, so I've got my 3 panels cut out, and now I need to make 2 of them slightly shorter. So one is a full panel size, so that will just fit in there with a little black border all the way around. But obviously this one and this one is going to be a little bit shorter. So the way that I can do that is just really simple, really straightforward. You take your die, work out where you need it to go. So I'm going to be roughly about there, I would say. And I still want a little slim border this side. So I'm just going to line that up, and you'll be able to feel it essentially lock into place. And that will mean, if I didn't have just moved it, that it'll cut it, and I'll still have that lovely stitch finish on there. And it won't duplicate it, won't be doubled up because I've locked it into place. I'll just do the other one and come back to you. Okay, so now we have assembly. So I'm just going to start with the inside panel, the larger of the two. And as I said, I think at the start, you could add another layer on top. You could add a white layer to write your personal message on, or you could add one to the back, whatever is your preference. Then we'll add the inside left. Maybe it'll look right on the camera, no idea. There we go. And then our front colour. And obviously you could vary these as much as you like. I've gone for the same panel, the same colour, the same pattern across all 3. But you could choose to vary them if you wanted. You could put some sort of fancy edge along here. That would look quite nice. So what we've still got is this to cover, but you should find from when you've trimmed these bigger panels, you've got a strip left. So by just trimming off the stitched edge, you'll be left with a piece that should fit perfectly for both sides. So let me just do that. When you're trimming this front one, you don't need it to go all the way to the edge. So one piece should be enough to actually do both sides. So I just make a pencil mark and then either use your trimmer or your scissors to cut that in half. And then we can stick that on there. And we'll actually have the stitched edge continue all the way down. There we go. And then we can do the same on this side. Ooh, as if by magic. That was pure luck, I have to say. Which way should we go? Don't suppose it really matters. There we go. So now we're going to attach our black circle. And I just want glue here so that I don't make a mess. I'm just going to hold that down and try and get it roughly in the centre. Then onto our flower. Glue that one down. Then on the back here, we've got one of our sentiments. And then for the inside sentiment, I just want to make sure it sits under this one so that I don't have anything peeking out. So I'm just going to have a look where I think I'm going to need it. And then I'm going to try and remember that I also need glue on this side because I don't want glue here. Wish me luck. That looks okay, I think. I'm going to open up and just check on the inside to make sure that looks okay from both sides. Be really easy to actually end up with that sentiment quite wonky. If you were really brave, I suppose you could put the circles on first and then stamp your sentiment after. I'm definitely not that brave. And there we go, a really simple fun fold using products from Gina K Designs. There we go, hope you like it.